Hi, it's Colli from Colli Talks Transformative Conversations, and I do hope you are having a wonderful weekend. I know there's lots of energy swirling around right now because there's a lot of things like full moon stuff happening, but it's fascinating to just be in the moment and to embrace what is, right? So people, often ask me about the pain that I've experienced in life. And I share so many others through my podcast. And like I say, we're going deep. So today we're going to go a little deep about the fact that it took me a lot of pain to be as soft as I am. I once, with my yoga instructor, Samaritino, remember her saying to me, Colli, always stay soft in the front and strong in the back. And it took me many years to understand that, but I do now. You see, people often see softness as weakness, right? They see a tender heart and think, oh, she's fragile. She can't possibly have known hardship. But the truth, it actually took a lot of pain to get to this point where I can be, as I said before, this soft. And that isn't weakness by any means at all. Softness wasn't where I began. Like many of you listening, I learned to protect myself, to keep my guard up, to become skilled at reading a room before I even stepped into it. And if I'm honest, sometimes to hide my needs, hide my pain, hide my truth. Because life, in its relentless way, had taught me that vulnerability came with a cost. And so I learned to trade openness for armor. And interesting about the armoring, that's another thing in yoga, we armor. And so then we have this armoring across the heart. And it actually can be very detrimental because we are actually closing down emotions that need and want to be revealed so that our heart can flow in a very soft manner and doesn't have to think that love hurts. But here's the thing about armoring also. Yes, it can keep you safe from harm, but it also can keep out love. It can keep out joy, and it can keep out life itself. I actually spent years, well, decades, even distracted from myself. And sometimes that distraction looked noble, helping others, serving, staying busy. Sometimes it looked like overworking, overgiving, overthinking. And sometimes it was simply finding ways to avoid my own reflection. Are thinking right now, I know, your own reflection. Well, yes, if we look in a mirror, we see a reflection of ourselves. Unless, of course, we are avoiding it. So I'm going to ask you, have you ever noticed how we can fill our days so completely that there's no space left for what we really need to feel? We keep moving because if we stop, even for a moment, we might hear the quiet whisper inside, the one saying, there's something here you haven't faced yet. Hmm. Well, Bert Hellinger, the founder of Family Constellation, spoke about something that deeply shaped me, and that is accepting fate. And today I had an incredible class with my master, my professor, Dr. Angwin St. Just, and she reminded all of us of this, of which I just mentioned about accepting fate. It's not resignation. It's not giving up. It's bowing with humility to the truth of what has been, to say, yes, this happened. Yes, this is part of my life story. And when we accept fate, we stop fighting reality. We stop arguing with the past, and a kind of peace begins to rise. A peace that isn't about liking what happened, but about no longer resisting it. Because what we resist, we will have to face. We can't get away with that. You can't shove it under a sofa, under a bed, put it in the garage, move away from one place. The saying, as they say, the geographical cure, it just doesn't work that way. So for me, accepting fate meant acknowledging the places I thought were wrong turns. But in hindsight, they're actually sacred detours. It meant no longer wishing certain chapters had been erased. It meant understanding that people who hurt me were also shaped by forces beyond my control, right? When you think about it, if my life is shaped in a certain way, how is it that other people's is not? Well, it is. So that is the big strength in acknowledging that those people, their life was also shaped by forces beyond my control and theirs. And that acceptance brought me here to a place where I can stand in softness without fear that it will destroy me. Because softness is not a weakness. It's strength that's being refined in fire. And so, if you are listening today, wondering how to open your heart again after betrayals, losses, disappointments, I want to tell you that softness is not where you start. It's actually where you arrive. It's a choice you make after you've seen the full weight of life and decided to love anyway. It took me a long time to learn this, and I'm still learning. But here's what I know. Every distraction that pulled me away from myself, every way I tried to outrun pain, was also part of the path that brought me here. Because eventually, there's nowhere to run. There really isn't. And in that stillness, in that surrender, you meet yourself again. And when you can look into your own eyes and not turn away, that's where life starts to change. So today, I invite you to take a breath with me. Pause and breathe. Let whatever has been be. Let whatever is here right now be. And maybe, just maybe, soften. No, not because life has been easy, but because you've earned the right to live without the armor. Because you've discovered the world doesn't need your hardness nearly as much as it needs your heart. So thank you for being here today with me. Yeah, because you are listening to this, you're actually with me and I'm with you. And I wish for you that you walk gently with yourself and remember that it took a lot of pain to be this soft. So until next time, I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm going to say lots of love, and soul hugs to go with it. Bye for now.